Hey everyone, welcome back. We're doing a deep dive today, a deep dive into the world of Elon Musk,
Elon Musk.
using a recent podcast episode as our source.
That's right.
And just to kind of set the stage here,
Yeah.
this is a guy who you really can't ignore, can you?
Not really, no.
Whether you admire him or you find him a bit out there,
Yeah,
his companies are really pushing the boundaries in some seriously mind-bending ways.
absolutely.
So are you ready to unpack this? I'm excited.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, let's start with SpaceX.
Okay.
Back in 2002, the idea of a private company aiming for Mars just seemed like pure science fiction.
It really did, yeah. Everyone was focused on government agencies like NASA.
Right.
But Musk had this crazy idea about colonizing Mars,
It was a crazy idea.
and he just went for it.
He just went for it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't an easy road.
No, not at all.
SpaceX faced some major setbacks early on.
Yeah,
Those first 3 launches
they failed.
failed.
Yeah.
And the company was on the verge of bankruptcy. Yeah, I can't imagine the pressure.
But that fourth launch,
Oh, that was the turning point
make or break moment.
for SpaceX.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it was a success.
It was
And that's what secured them that contract with NASA.
huge, both funding and credibility from that.
Yeah, I mean, that contract was a game changer, I think, for them.
I think so, too.
And then came the Falcon rockets, especially the Falcon 9.
Yes.
Now, this is where things get really interesting for me. They actually created a reusable rocket.
Yeah, so picture this. A rocket landing back on Earth like a plane, ready for another mission.
I can't even imagine.
That's what Falcon 9 does. It launches, delivers its payload, and then returns for a vertical landing.
That's wild.
It is wild.
So they basically cracked the code for affordable space travel.
Pretty much, yeah. It's made it much more accessible, which opens up all kinds of possibilities.
And then there's the Dragon capsule,
Oh, yeah, the Dragon.
which isn't just delivering cargo to the International Space Station anymore. It's taking astronauts, too.
It is. I mean, for the longest time, that was something only government agencies could do.
It seemed like it, yeah.
So it's a clear sign that private companies can be major players in space exploration.
Yeah, no question about it.
But Musk's ultimate goal with SpaceX hasn't changed, right?
No, it hasn't.
Mars colonization.
Mars colonization, that's right.
And that's where Starship comes in.
Starship, yeah.
This colossal rocket being designed specifically for deep space missions. They're talking about sending people to Mars in the next few decades.
I know, it's incredible.
Yeah.
But they're up against some huge challenges.
Like what?
Like figuring out how to deal with the Martian environment.
You're right.
Creating sustainable food and energy sources.
Yeah.
Not to mention ensuring the safety of the colonists.
Yeah. It's a lot to figure out.
It is. It's a lot to figure out.
But could we really be living on Mars in our lifetime?
You know, it's hard to say, but it's definitely within the realm of possibility.
It is.
I think so.
Wow.
And it really speaks to Musk's relentless pursuit of his vision.
That's amazing. Okay, well, let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
And talk about a company that's transforming how we move here on Earth, Tesla.
All right, Tesla. Back in 2004, when Musk joined, electric cars were seen as a bit of a novelty.
I remember, yeah.
They weren't exactly known for their performance or style.
Yeah.
But, you know, Musk saw electric vehicles as not just eco-friendly, but as high performance and desirable.
Really?
Yeah, and he really envisioned a future where electric cars were the norm.
So to prove his point, they launched the Roadster,
That's right, yeah.
a sleek, all-electric sports car that made a statement.
It did. It really turned heads and
Mhm.
challenged the perception that electric cars had to be boring.
Yeah, I remember seeing that and
Yeah.
thinking, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it was the Model S that really put Tesla on the map, right?
I think so, yeah. A luxury sedan that could compete with the best gas-powered cars out there.
It won a lot of awards too, didn't it?
It did. It won a lot of awards.
That's crazy. And they didn't just stop at building great cars.
No, they
They
didn't.
didn't. They created this whole ecosystem around them.
You're right. The supercharger network,
Right.
the gigafactories for battery production,
Yeah.
the over-the-air software updates that constantly improve the car. It's an entire ecosystem designed to support and enhance the electric vehicle experience.
So they're not just selling cars, they're selling a vision of the future.
Exactly.
A future where sustainable transportation is the norm.
That's the idea.
And speaking of the future, we got to talk about autopilot.
Oh, yeah, autopilot. Tesla's advanced driver assistance system.
Right.
It's been pushing the boundaries of autonomous driving.
It really has, but it's also been a source of controversy, hasn't it?
It has, yeah.
I mean, the technology is incredible.
It is.
A car that can practically drive itself. But there are some valid concerns about safety and the way it's being marketed.
There are, yeah. Terms like full self-driving
Right.
can be misleading and potentially dangerous if drivers become over-reliant on the technology.
I see your point. It's a complex issue for sure.
It
But hey, that's Elon Musk for you.
always pushing the envelope.
Always pushing the envelope. Okay, are you ready to dive into something even more mind-bending?
Oh, I'm ready to lay it on me.
Okay, let's talk Neuralink.
Neuralink.
Brain-machine interfaces.
All right, this is where things get really futuristic.
Okay, so help me wrap my head around this. Neuralink is developing implantable devices that can connect directly to the human brain,
That's right.
allowing people to control computers and other devices with their thoughts.
Yeah, that's the idea.
So we're talking about essentially reading thoughts and translating them into actions.
Exactly. Imagine tiny electrodes implanted in the brain, reading your thoughts and translating them into commands for computers.
It sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
It does, doesn't it?
So what kind of real-world applications are we talking about here?
Well, initially they're focusing on helping people with neurological conditions.
Okay.
Paralysis, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's.
Right.
Imagine someone with paralysis being able to control a prosthetic limb with their mind.
Wow.
Or someone who's lost their ability to speak, being able to communicate using a computer interface.
Just by thinking.
Just by thinking.
That would be life-changing for so many people.
It really would.
But I gotta admit, the idea of implanting something in your brain is a little intimidating.
Yeah, I get that.
Are there safety concerns with this?
Absolutely. I mean, brain surgery is always a risk.
Of course.
And there's still a lot we don't know about the long-term effects of these devices.
Right.
It's important to remember that this is still very early stage technology.
Right.
And there are some significant ethical considerations as well.
For sure. But Musk seems pretty convinced that this technology is the future. He even talks about merging human consciousness with artificial intelligence.
He does, yeah. He believes that AI is advancing so rapidly that humans need to find a way to keep up.
So he sees Neuralink as a way to create a symbiotic relationship between humans and AI.
That's his thinking, yeah. Enhancing our cognitive abilities and preventing us from being overtaken by superintelligent machines.
It's a bold vision.
It's a bold vision.
And a little unsettling, to be honest.
It is a little unsettling.
Okay, let's move on to something a little more down to earth. Literally,
Okay.
the Boring Company.
The Boring Company, all right.
Tunnels for high-speed transportation.
Tunnels, yes.
This one started as a joke, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
Musk was famously frustrated with LA traffic
Yeah,
and tweeted about digging tunnels as a solution.
I remember that.
What began as a seemingly off-the-cuff remark actually turned into a real company.
It did.
So what exactly is the Boring Company trying to do?
Well, they want to create these underground tunnel networks
Okay.
that can transport people and vehicles at high speeds, basically bypassing all the traffic above ground.
So we're all going to be zipping around in Teslas underground.
Well, that's the idea. Think of it as a kind of underground highway system.
You like that?
They've already built a test tunnel in L.A.
I've heard about that.
and the Las Vegas Convention Center loop,
Oh, wow.
which uses Tesla vehicles to shuttle people around.
That's so cool. But tunnels are expensive and time-consuming to build, right?
Yeah, they are. And some critics argue that it would be more effective to just invest in public transportation.
Or find ways to reduce car dependency.
Right.
It sort of makes you wonder if this is more of a passion project for Musk
Maybe.
than a truly scalable solution.
It's possible.
Well, Musk believes that tunneling technology can be made more efficient
He does.
and affordable,
He does.
and he sees it as a viable option
Yeah.
for heavily congested urban areas.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a bold idea.
It is. Okay, so we've talked about SpaceX, Tesla, Neuralink, and the Boring Company.
A lot of companies.
That's a pretty impressive list of ventures.
Yeah.
Each one pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
For sure.
But what about the man behind it all? What's your take on Elon Musk himself?
He's a polarizing figure, that's for sure.
How so?
Well, some people see him as a visionary genius, a modern-day Thomas Edison
Okay.
who's driving humanity forward
I can see that.
with his bold ideas
Yeah.
and relentless pursuit of innovation.
He's not afraid to challenge the status quo.
Not at all. He doesn't seem content with incremental progress. He wants to make giant leaps forward.
Right.
But that kind of ambition and drive can rub people the wrong way.
He's definitely known for his, let's say, strong personality
Yeah.
and his controversial statements on social media.
His tweets, yeah.
He doesn't always come across as the most approachable guy.
No, not always.
But love him or hate him, you can't deny his impact.
True.
I mean, he's shaken up multiple industries.
Yeah, like what?
Space travel, automotive, energy, even brain science.
Wow. Yeah.
And he's inspired countless people to think bigger and bolder about the future.
Definitely. He's become a cultural icon, a symbol of innovation and disruption.
I think you're right. And whether you agree with his methods or not, he's forcing us to confront some pretty big questions about the future of technology and humanity's place in it.
I agree. He seems to operate on the principle that technology can solve almost any problem we face. Well, he sees climate change and thinks, let's develop electric cars and sustainable energy solutions.
Yeah.
Traffic congestion, let's dig tunnels and create high-speed transportation systems. Worried about AI surpassing human intelligence, let's develop brain-machine interfaces to enhance our own cognitive abilities.
So he's tackling some of humanity's biggest challenges head on.
That's right.
And he's not afraid to think outside the box.
Yep.
It's inspiring in a way, but also makes you wonder, is technology really the answer to everything?
It's a question worth pondering, that's for sure.
It is. And Musk's relentless pursuit of technological solutions raises all sorts of ethical and societal considerations.
Yeah, for example, with Neuralink
Right.
and the idea of merging human consciousness with AI.
Yeah.
I mean, there are huge ethical questions we need to address.
Like what?
Like, how do we ensure these technologies are used responsibly? What are the potential unintended consequences?
Right.
These are questions we need to grapple with as these technologies continue to develop.
Well, it's clear that Musk isn't afraid to push the boundaries,
He isn't.
even if it means courting controversy along the way.
That's true.
And for better or worse, his companies are going to continue to shape the world we live in.
I think so too.
This deep dive has been fascinating, but I feel like we've only scratched the surface of this complex and fascinating individual.
Me too. Elon Musk is a force to be reckoned with, and his impact on our world is only going to grow in the years to come.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Elon Musk, what's the biggest takeaway for you?
I think for me, it's that Musk embodies both the incredible potential and the potential pitfalls of technological innovation. Okay. He's a reminder that technology is a powerful tool, but it's up to us to use it wisely and thoughtfully.
Considering both its benefits and its risks,
Exactly.
he's definitely pushing us to think about the kind of future we want to create and the role technology will play in that future.
He is.
So where do you see things heading?
Well, Musk's companies are constantly evolving and pushing the boundaries of what's possible. It's going to be fascinating to see what they come up with next. Will we see a Tesla on Mars someday? Will Neuralink enable us to control computers with our minds? Will the Boring Company revolutionize urban transportation? Only time will tell.
It's exciting and a little bit scary all at the same time.
I think so, too.
But I guess that's the nature of innovation, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about pushing into the unknown and seeing what happens.
And with Elon Musk at the helm, it's sure to be a wild ride.
It is. It is.
Well, folks, there you have it. We've taken a deep dive into the world of Elon Musk, exploring his companies, his vision, and the impact he's having on our world.
We have.
But the conversation doesn't end here. We encourage you to keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep an open mind as we journey into this uncharted territory of technological advancement.
I agree.
What are your thoughts on Elon Musk and his ventures? What are your hopes and fears for the future? We'd love to hear your perspectives. I mean, it's crazy to think that just a few years ago, some of the things we're talking about would have seemed like pure science fiction.
It's true, yeah.
But Musk seems to have this knack for taking these seemingly impossible ideas
Yeah.
and turning them into reality.
He does, whether it's reusable rockets or self-driving cars or brain-computer interfaces.
Right.
He's constantly pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible.
It really makes you wonder what he'll set his sights on next.
That is the big question, isn't it? Where will he take us next? Will he solve the climate crisis? Will he get us to Mars? Will he merge our minds with AI?
He's certainly not lacking in ambition.
No, not at all. And I think that's what makes him so fascinating. He's a reminder that we're living in an age of unprecedented technological advancement, and the possibilities are truly limitless.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
And a little daunting, to be honest.
I think that's a natural reaction. I mean, his ventures force us to confront some pretty profound questions about the nature of humanity, the role of technology, and the kind of future we're creating.
It's true. It's easy to get caught up in the hype or the fear surrounding all these new technologies.
Right.
But it's important to remember that we have a say in how they're developed and used.
Absolutely. We need to have these open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of all these advancements.
And think critically about the potential risks and benefits.
Yeah, and make sure that these technologies are used to benefit all of humanity, not just a select few.
Yeah, it's a responsibility we all share.
It is a responsibility that we can't afford to ignore.
I think that's a great place to wrap up our deep dive into the world of Elon Musk.
I agree. It's been a fascinating exploration of one of the most influential and controversial figures of our time.
We've covered a lot of ground, from SpaceX's mission to Mars, to Tesla's electric revolution, to Neuralink's, those mind-bending brain-computer interfaces.
We have, and we've only just scratched the surface. Musk's companies are constantly evolving, pushing the boundaries further with each passing year.
So as we leave you to ponder the future that Musk is shaping, we have one final thought for you.
Okay, shoot.
Musk is a powerful reminder that the future is not something that just happens to us. It's something we create.
Through our choices.
Our actions and our willingness to embrace the unknown.
So keep exploring, keep
Yep.
questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what you believe is possible, because the future is ours to make.
Well, that's it for this episode of The Deep Dive. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
And we'll see you next time.